Well, Mark would love to play loads of right-hand side and straighten the cue ball up behind the black, but I think the green will kiss into the brown, so he don't risk that. If he could guarantee just cannoning the green onto the black, he'd play that, but I think it's a little bit too thin to leave the green where the black is white at this end. So just played a containing safety, hoping to get them lined up, and he may have done that. Not quite though, because of the audience haven't clapped, so obviously it's not snooker. There you can see it's not.
Thanks, Mark.
He's a little concerned if he wants to play the green round the table that the green cannons into the pink, so he may play an alternative shot than that. If he plays it half full with loads of left-hand side, he could possibly get in behind the black and brown. That's what he's gone for. There's the side. Perhaps a little bit too much. Well, he didn't play behind the blue, but he's finished behind the blue.
Looking to play a similar shot that he played on the other side of the table a little while ago. Try and cushion first, almost a full ball on the green, back up the table and leave the cue ball on the top cushion here. He's got to be careful, it may go close to the corner pocket. Well, what's worse, it's double kiss, and I'm sure this green pots. He's lost the cue ball though.
3.
This is not a gimme. But he only needs the brown. He's 18 points ahead. Brown will put him 22 ahead with just 18 remaining. Fantastic cueing from Ronnie O'Sullivan. Impeccable.
Ronnie O'Sullivan, 7.
Well, he's just tried to, if he missed it, just leave it in the jaws of the pocket, but Mark Selby only needs one snooker.
Mark might take the risk here, trying to bring the pink out with this blue. Play 2 cushions, try and play the blue onto the pink. Didn't hit that particularly well, so Ronnie's will certainly be taking this blue on. Well, he could get the cue ball in behind the black, but he'd be pushing the blue towards the pocket, so got to be a little bit careful if he plays in behind the black with the cue ball, which he obviously would be trying to do. Just going to make sure the blue comes away. Once again, Ronnie will be taking this on.
Yeah, Ronnie purposely didn't try to pot the blue there because the cue ball was running into the pink, but Mark could possibly pot the blue here and try and get a snooker on the pink. The only problem with this is you don't get too many chances when you've only got one ball to get behind, but not a bad chance here. Possibly off 3 cushions here, not behind the black. There's the first. The angle was there.
Selby 5.
Now Ronnie was just trying to get this pink in. And in it goes. What a pot from Ronnie O'Sullivan. He edges further ahead now in this match. It's Ronnie O'Sullivan 7. Mark Selby 3.
Thank you, frame 11. Settle down, please. Ronnie O'Sullivan to break.
Well, applying himself he is, without playing his normal robust style that he's been used to in this tournament. He's had it all his own way so far. He's opening a little bit of a gap now, so he has to win at least 3 frames in this session to stay with Selby. I mean, 10-6 is about the closest you would think he'd have a chance of winning. Obviously, he'd like to get a lot more frames than that, but can't really afford to lose this session.
He's been very fortunate there. Just hoping to knock that red into another red and black there just to stop it going near the pocket, but it's slowed up.
Lewis, of course, it's my mistake. There's 9 frames tonight, so they've still got time to get well back into this session. Not playing safety shots like that, he won't, though.
Just wondering Spoke about that match he played against Neil Robertson last night, winning 17-15. It was top quality in the last session, but it was over 12 hours of play, Willie, that semi-final. Has it taken a little bit out of Mark's game today? This man, of course, had the afternoon off, winning with a session to spare against Barry Hawkins, and even the previous day against Sean Murphy as well.
Had a clever shot there. I was just trying to flick off the pack and probably bring another run into play. I think he can get through to the potted angle of this red with the rest without having to use a spider. And very tight, queuing over it. It's the same as using a spider. That isn't how he's queuing up. And these top pockets are definitely tougher, I think, on this table than they were in the quarterfinal and semi-final. I mean, Ross Selby's entitled to sit there kind of bemoaning his luck there because that is very fortunate.
Can you not call out when players are at the table, please?
Well, we could have a bit of a stalemate here because the problem ball, of course, is the red over the corner pocket. Ronnie may attempt to stun off the pack and try and use the yellow and blue, but not on this occasion. Yeah, well, Mark asked Ronnie, does he want to re-rack, and rather than tip into the pack for another couple of minutes, boys have decided to start the frame again. Yeah, I just wonder, Willie, you know, while the referee Brendan Moore sets up the reds, do you reckon that that match has taken a little bit out of Mark today because he doesn't look like he has that bit of sparkle that he had towards the end of that match last night?
I think it's just expectation, really. Having finished so well and played so well in the last session last night, he must have been so excited to think he can compete with Ronnie in all departments. I mean, it must be a bit shell-shocked to have come into this session playing for that championship trophy, and all of a sudden nothing's there. His long game's not there, his safety's not there, his break building's not there. But he's such a great match player, and I don't say that lightly when we talk about great match players. He does have time, but he's just got to stay with Ronnie in this session.
Yeah, absolutely. And here we go again. Ronnie O'Sullivan breaks off. Left-handed, of course. Possible pot on here for Mark Selby, but has to dig down on the cue ball off the cushion here. But there is a gap around the back of the black here. Didn't spot that plant, Willie, did you?
Well, a massive slice of luck, but as you can see, it's come perilously close to the side cushion. The fluke's only any good if you score from it.
I'll have a look at this again. Just watch the red.
Four.
The middle of those. Below the pink into the middle. Perfect. That's better. That's better. And that will certainly give him a little bit of confidence. And needs one good positional shot here.
I think he's got the needle now. Just notice his expression on his face and the way he strode around the table. I think he's probably decided to try and push the boat out a little bit now. Play at a pace that suits him better.
9.
Selby at his best, Ken, I think you'll agree, is somewhere around 23 seconds. I mean,
10.
worst way 23. When he's really playing well, he can be under 20.
Yeah, stay on this red. Can stay on the pink if he wishes, or back up for blue.
$60. Can you stop calling out, please, once more, and you are going to leave?
Somebody just getting a little bit cheery, probably somebody from Leicester just cheering Mark on, and all of a sudden he started to put them in the centre of the pocket. He hasn't been doing that all day, and they're going a little bit more crisp like they were last night. Remember, this break came off a fluke, and it could be a telling one. Not at the moment, though. It's still only 16 points.
Yeah, the red directly above the black. That's the red he'd love to get on here. Would have had a nice angle to knock the red. Just to the left, the black away. Just a little bit too much side. It's a chance loss for Mark Selby.
Thanks. Mark Selby, 18.
Yeah, here's the yellow into the corner. Now look at the right-hand side just taken off. That side cushion, full ball contact on that red would have been perfect. But that second prize. But he really has to be scoring an awful lot more off those chances.
There's a pot on him between the pink and blue, but he won't be taking that on. Can't do anything with the cue ball, so he's going to have to play quite an aggressive safe shot here. There's every chance the black could be brought into play with this shot. It is in play in the left-hand corner, but he might move those two reds just below the black here. The red was on its way, but played it thinner than I thought he might, and that's not his best safety shot. Looks like he's found a plant. Set for the left-hand jaw, though, as you can see there. But if he could guarantee to miss the red that's two away from that, him playing the plant, he would play it. But just see, that's the problem. He played the plant, but he'd be worried about kissing the red that's just the left of those two reds and getting back into balk. Ken's just put a line up there. That's the angle the cue ball would be taking. And of course, if he kisses that red, he can't get onto a colour. But if the plant's a certainty, he'll take it on. And he'll just hope he gets onto pink, blue or bought colour. But he's going to have to rely on a good kiss. Well, because it's so firm, he actually widened the angle. He just can't get on the ball at the minute. Played that plant slow, couldn't do anything but kiss into the red, but the fact that he played it so hard, it threw the cue ball wide of those two reds.
Yeah, and he was a bit unlucky here. Just the side spin off this ball cushion. Just watch the cue ball here as it goes toward. Get this, not only hit the red, but to get it safe.
Foul and a miss. Mark Selby 4.
Didn't even bother getting out of his chair there. He knew there was nothing that could definitely score. So he decided to put Ronnie again.
Yeah, this is the angle. Almost like the mark of Zorro here. But he's trying to nestle into that red. Just left of the black. This looks a better line. Is it hard enough? Is it hard enough? It is, and what a shot that is. Fantastic judge of pace. Great shot.
Yeah, the reason it was so good in pace, Ken, as you rightly say, he'd have been leaving a red on in the middle, but the pace was to perfection. He liked it. See, that red would have been available into the corner or the middle, but the brilliance of Ronnie's safety cut that red out. Oh, goodness me. We often talk about this game being a game of fractions. And as you can see from Mark's expression on his face, he thought he'd got that.
One. Seven. Eight. 14. 15.
There's a couple of reds just above the black. I think we'll pot into the right corner pocket. But it's not straight on this pink, so I may just stun it in for the red just to the close to the right corner pocket now. And you'd have to say, Willie, the way Ronnie's been playing is
21.
You can't see too much difficulty with this break here.
22.
Yeah, purposely leaving an angle on the pink so he can get onto the two reds just below it, and if he'd have been straight on the pink, he'd have had to play the ones near the black spot, but these are the ones he wants to play, and these two just below the pink spot there. He's played it perfectly.
28. 29. 35. 36.
Now the second one just above the black. I presume we'll try and get on here.
42.
Into both pockets, the one just below. But just having a quick look at the score, he could stun the middle red in and bring the black into play as well if he wishes.
43.
Now he's a little bit straight on this red, so he can't
49.
bring the other red into play just yet. And of course, every
50.
time he puts red in colour, he's increasing his points difference. 27 now. Pink, red, and another high value colour. And Mark Selby is going to be staring down the barrel of another frame lost.
$56.
These are worrying times for Mark Selby and
57.
his friends and family. I'm starting to look a little bit weary out there. Missed a couple of pots, missed position, not scoring enough at the moment, and really needs something to start happening for him. Yep, 40 ahead, 2 snookers required.
63. Ronnie O'Sullivan, 63.
Little wry smile from Ronnie there, because he knows if he doesn't catch the jaws of the middle pocket, he'd have got Mark snookered. Yes, he's just doing enough, Ronnie, at the minute. He's not playing anything like he can, and we know Mark's not, obviously, but he's still able to just do enough. This was the one that Mark was hoping to get a big lead in. The 23 he already had. It just bounced there, so he got a little bit of a kick there, but look how many times that jawed. 8-10 times before it eventually stayed out. He'd love to hit this red half ball and try and get the cue ball in behind the black, but not too sure he can miss the cannon on the pink if he plays it that way around, so he might take an alternative way of getting in behind the black. Maybe off the right-hand side cushion, stun him behind it. That's what he's played. Very close. He's got a second prize, I tell you, he's got a second prize.
Yeah, it's not too bad. The yellow is a little bit of a problem ball here. I'm hitting a little bit of right-hand side off the top cushion, but too much side, he'll hit the yellow. There you see it, and maybe a free ball. If this red travels, it could have a free ball. It's just held up enough. Well, I'm very surprised.
I agree with you. You're thinking red, black, yellow, and snooker behind the blue on the green, yeah?
Just clipping the yellow here. Why didn't he pot the red and pot the black or even pink?
Such an easy snooker in behind the blue from the green. That's what Ken's saying.
Well, he might not get a better chance, will he? He might not get a better chance. Great shot from Ronnie O'Sullivan there. Not that difficult to hit the red, but it's the age-old problem, getting it safe. Needs a bit of luck. And he hasn't got it. Well, he's going to get another chance. Not so straightforward to pot the red here because very hard to hold for the pink into the middle pocket. Now you see 36 behind, 35 remaining, so still needs 1 4-point snooker.
A little bit further away off the cushion, he could check this in behind the black, but with him being so close to the cushion, he can't impart the side that he'd like to get on. So funny enough, that's exactly what he played. He played just to slow the cue ball down by kissing into the black, but obviously very easy shot to hit for Ronnie, but got to be a little careful and hit the red half ball. He could end up going in off the yellow. Played it well. And there's the side's going to really take the chance this time, Mark, of potting this red and black and yellow and getting the snooker in behind the blue from the green.
Got a slight angle on the red. He can come off 2 cushions, but he's not taking the red on again. He's got a full ball snooker, but straightforward hit from Ronnie O'Sullivan here. This red could go close to where the yellow is. Well, he's hit it quarter ball.
Well, he didn't want the jaw a few shots ago, but he was disappointed the jaw cost him a snooker. That time the jaws got him the snooker. He'll do well to get this safe, because if he hits it thin on either side, he's bound to leave a pot on. 4 balls, the only hope he's got of getting it safe. And that's the end of the frame. Mark Selby concedes, which is entitled to do what is apparent these snookers, and Ronnie O'Sullivan goes 4 clear for the first time in this game. And the score reads 8-3, 5 clear.
Thank you. Settle down, please. Frame 12. Mark Selby to break.
Mark Selby breaks off in his 12th frame. Desperate to get a frame on the board this evening. Again, Ronnie O'Sullivan, extremely fortunate. Covered it red into this corner pocket. And Mark Selby slumping his chair a little bit when he saw the black coming over that corner pocket. It's happened a couple of times in the last frame as well, although Selby did get a fluke in the middle, so it does even itself out, particularly over the best of 35 frames. Well, he may have left this into the corner pocket. Cue ball very close to the red, of course, but got to be careful here. Good push the ball here. He's going to dig down into the cue ball. Yeah, he tried to screw it back away from the pink and possibly try and get on the black.
Green ball.
Didn't get the screw into the ball. No, better pot. Now, how's your luck? Needs to slow up. Needs to slow up. Again, everything just being overhit from Mark Selby. Red goes into the left center, but very tricky.
Mark Selby 4.
Yes, he's getting a little frustrated now, Mark. He's played a great shot on the ball colour there to come round for a red, and it's just ran away within the cue ball. He's entitled to take the red on the middle, but he left half a chance for Ronnie. Just coming around to see if he takes anything on, whether he can cover the pot up. Doesn't look like he wants to entertain a pot now, looking like he's going to play the safety.
Yeah, I don't think Ronnie was going to push the boat out. He will sense Mark is struggling a little bit. He wants to keep the pressure on. Doesn't want to give him any easy opportunities to get him settled, because he hasn't settled so far this evening. But still a long way to go in this match. You win a couple of frames and then things can change very, very quickly. Pot success for Mark Selby down to 84%, 90% average from Ronnie O'Sullivan. This is a big statistic. 42 for the highest break for Mark Selby, 102 from Ronnie O'Sullivan. He's got a horrendous kick. Slowed up the cue ball. Everything is happening out there. have a look at the cue ball here.
There's every chance now that Mark Selby could have lost the first 4 frames of this evening's session. He lost the last one of the afternoon session when he looked like he was certain to level at 4-4. But it's 5 games on the trot should he lose this. Not hard enough for the desired position. I don't know whether he can cut it in the middle. There's a little wry smile again from Ronnie. Just a safety shot again. Just making sure he doesn't push a red over the corner when he plays this red into the pack. Probably worried about pushing a red over the corner, that's why I didn't even entertain the pack.
Ronnie O'Sullivan 3.
Not the best safety he's ever played there. Even though he misjudged the safety, he hasn't left anything easy. The one next to the pink or just below the pink looks like it'll pot into the corner. Well, from that picture, it's very tight, as you can see. Can get onto the pink or black, should he get it. It was tight, wasn't it?
Possible red to the right centre, but again, very tricky. Shot time just coming up to a minute. Not often you'd see that statistic for Ronnie O'Sullivan, but this is a big frame. Ronnie O'Sullivan doesn't want to, as I said, give Mark Selby an easy opening. Let him get going. He has him on the rack at the moment. He wants to keep him down. That's why he doesn't want to take this red on into the right centre.
Being ultra cautious, Ronnie. It means so much to him to try and win this championship at ease, and he's won every other match at ease so far, apart from the one with Joe Perry. Joe's the only one to have pushed him to the limit. Although you see the average time just gone past the 20 minutes. The first 3 or 4 frames of this game were averaging 12 minutes a frame. I think tomorrow, obviously another 6 frames to go, including this one tonight. I expect them to play a little better tomorrow. Very rarely do you see a player playing a safety shot like that, but as you can see, nothing appears potable. I just wonder whether Mark can consider playing the slow cross double and try and get the white down on the back cushion, but it looks too dangerous because he can't guarantee getting the weight right, because the red to the extreme left of the bunch might be able to cut in. So just to be another safety shot here. Mark can certainly get the upper hand in this safety exchange now, as long as he covers the red with the yellow. It looks like he's done, so this is the first safety shot that's got to be played perfectly. The last few safety shots, you had a lot of margin of error. You don't have a margin of error with this one. Such was the strength of Mark's safety. Ronnie decided for the first time this evening, and the first time I think I can remember in the match, to push the boat out. He had no other shot. Now Mark Selby, if you've got any aspirations of getting back into this session, it needs to start now. Last night you'd have said it'd be a good thing to get 60 or above. I'm not too sure he's settled at the moment.
Seb. Eight. $50.
Might try and get the blue back on its spot here.
$60.
It doesn't have to worry about disturbing any reds. Red to the right of the pink pots into the right corner pocket. If you can try and get down on the black, then
21.
the red to the right of the black, of course, will be his next choice.
22.
When he eventually moves the red just above the black in a couple of shots' time, that'll open another red up. But he's going to have to play one cannon very soon, because the 5 reds that will be remaining around the pink spot are not going to be available in any pocket.
29.
So he's 30 points in front. What he wouldn't give for another 40 from here.
Thanks. 30.
So red directly above the black pots, the bow pockets, and when he pots this black and the next red, it will open up one more red, but that's, as Willie said, this is the last one available down here, unless he can play a little
37.
cannon on maybe one of the reds here and open another couple. Well, he just played a soft cannon.
38.
If he'd been in a better frame of mind, Ken, and he may have played that cannon as like a stun run through and just played it half ball, but he just wants to make everything perfect at the minute, and I don't blame him at all.
45.
This is his highest break in the match so far now, and really needs to make it a frame winner. Well, he could, as you can see from that angle, he could run through for the black, but he's playing it to screw back for the blue. So he's going to need one more
46.
cannon.
Yeah, not straight enough on the blue either, so. Well, he could just about hold it.
Doesn't have to play the cannon hard when he gets on the blue.
51.
He'll just be playing the blue and just playing into those 2 reds at the right of the pink. So he needs a half ball angle here. It's one of those shots where you can play it gently. You don't have to play it hard the next shot on the blue. Right, same thing with the green's a lot more difficult
52.
than the blue. Okay, it's quite a big target. He'd literally like to get into the gap of those 4 reds. He'd be unlucky not to kiss one of them half ball, Ken, wouldn't he?
Yeah, something like this angle off the green, but he's missed it. He's missed it, and that was such a big target, and that's a big mistake.
That's why I can't understand he
55.
didn't play for the blue. I mean, if you play for the blue, it's an unmissable cannon. Playing for the green, now and again you can hit them poorly like he did there. Still seems to miss the cannon though. But when you're in this kind of out of sorts, having lost 3 frames on the trot, 4 in total if you include the last frame of the this afternoon session, sometimes you're just trying to make sure you don't make any sort of mistake. You don't take a risk.
Mark Selby, 55.
Good safety shot there from Mark. He's 56 points in front. Favourite to win a frame at last in this session. Here's the shot he played, and of course once he missed it, but what he wanted to do, we get a quick chance to show you before Mark plays Selby plays his shot. Perfect line, you see, that's going to happen. So that's why it was such a big target. You expected him to get that.
Well, Ronnie's having a go at this red. Big shot. Now, where's it going? Oh, well,
Foul.
that should be
Mark
it
Selby, 4.
now. Let's have a look at the scores. He's 60 points ahead, so just this red to leave Ronnie O'Sullivan leading the snooker. Such a relieved Mark Selby will be.
One.
Wow.
Mark Selby, 1.
That's very uncharacteristic. Just trying to drop the pink in, and what's worse is that should Ronnie get the pink back on the spot. Pink, couple of blacks, and maybe one snooker. Yeah, see Ronnie purposely trying to get the pink on the spot because that will certainly make things easier. He's just trying to drop the pink in, dead weight. And
7. 8. 14.
He'd like to play the second red of the two reds because it's leave that red where it is so he can get in behind the pink.
50.
Pot this black and then he should get tight in behind the pink Ken here, shouldn't he? So Mark's going to be faced with that snooker now.
Yeah, Nora, as we've seen so many times, he should be in his dressing room now, getting ready, having his cup of tea, thinking about the next 5 frames they've got to play tonight, but he's still involved in this frame. And Ronnie should get a good snooker here. Cue ball will be
22.
tight as possible to this pink.
When you're struggling, Ken, like Mark is at the minute, everything kind of goes wrong, doesn't it? And he's
Ronnie
played that pretty well, actually, because he's covered the right-hand side cushion. If he goes off the left-hand side cushion, the green comes into play. So there's plenty of room around the back of this red. It's one of those, Ken, if you play at 2 cushions, there is room around the back, where if you play at 1, you wouldn't have thought you could miss it, but 2 cushions just gives a bigger target.
Well, this is an possible angle, but as you said, he's got to be careful here. Even if he hits the red off 2 cushions, he's got to be careful of the in off. Oh, excellent shot. Excellent shot. He's hit it on the other side. But he's not out of the woods just yet. Straight forward. Off the red, down behind the black again.
Helps the fact that green's where it is, means that Ronnie couldn't really leave this red on unless he hits it as hard as that. So that's certainly going to be frame over now.
You're out with this one.
Getting a little laugh for the crowd, saying, but he will be relieved. His cup of tea will taste a little bit better. He's got his first frame of the tonight's session on the board. Still a lot of work to do.
6.
He's 4 frames behind, but as I said, first to 8 in, a long way to go
9.
in this match just yet. He's certainly not going to throw in the towel. He's a fighter.
13.
That's a nice little exhibition shot. Can he hit the pink? Oh.
18.
Well, the pink doesn't go in. Mark Selby won't mind. He's got his first frame on the board this evening. But it's still Ronnie O'Sullivan leads by 4 frames now, 8 frames to 4.
Good evening, Hazel. And yeah, I just thought just before the mid-session interval that Mark Selby seemed to be in a mood to be a little bit more aggressive, Dennis, and take a few more pots on, make things happen.
Yeah, I'm with you on that one, John. He did quicken up quite a bit. And it was such an important frame to win, and straight away he may have an early chance if that green doesn't come to Ronnie's rescue. Well, it wasn't the best break-off shot, but the green, that little smile from Mark is telling you there what he thinks of not being able to pot the red. Oh, that's the pink.
Foul on the miss. Ronnie O'Sullivan 4.
Oh, it wasn't the pink. Ronnie's a bit reluctant to have it put back, but he's got no shot, so he might as well put it back. I think Mark was coming into the table, John, and thought, I'm going to have a red in the middle pocket, but that tells you that he couldn't.
Yeah, this game never changes, does it? When you're behind and you need a bit of luck, it never seems to go your way. Ronnie just making certain that the cue ball's back where it was. I don't think he could get through to any part of this red.
That way.
This is where it was. It's only the cue ball that he's doing. Doesn't look too bad now.
Okay. Better. Okay, Mark. Thank you.
Same shot, but just needs a touch more left-hand side and pace. Just about okay.
Touching ball, Ronnie.
Touching ball, declares the referee, so an easy path back to the balk end for Ronnie.
He's going the other side of the table now. Into the reds, should be okay. I don't know if you can see enough of that red. It's up to the left of the blue. Obviously not. But he's purposely left Mark a shot at that red. Well, did he purposely leave him a shot at the red? Because Mark can have a go at this. Okay, he may have a little bit of an awkward bridge to make.
Well, there's certainly a gap for the cue, but is he touching the pink? The referee wouldn't declare the touching the pink, and it's, you see, just not, but can he get it? No, just couldn't get to the potting angle. So just the containing safety, but if he's not covered that red with the yellow, good chance for Ronnie now to play a lot better safety than that.
I wonder will he send it into the reds. He has. Now the danger with that shot is you never know where they're going to go. He's got a pretty good cue ball. He's covered the one to the left, as you can see, but he hasn't covered the one to the right. That was quite an attacking shot from Ronnie to open the reds up, but you're never sure where they're going to go. And one good pot, and I think he might be able to miss the cannon into the reds. He could give himself a chance here.
Nice pot. Needs a good kiss on the brown. Will that brown bounce? It doesn't. So just a little run up to the yellow. Trying to cut out the
Selby
escape from the right-hand side of the table, but I think he's just hit that yellow a little bit too hard. When he was walking back to his seat, you just saw that little bit of disappointment on his face. Wanting to cover this escape. And didn't. Good hit from Ronnie, though. What's been very impressive to me, Dennis, is the fact that we've gone about Ronnie, which Ronnie turns up. Obviously, we put that behind us now because the last 18 months, 2 years, he has turned up and been a proper snooker player. And even these frames this evening that have been a little bit slow, Ronnie has not lost his focus, has he? Oh, while we're talking, they're having a re-rack.
Well, listen, JV, there's nothing wrong with a re-rack every now and again. Does you the world of good. Brendan Moore, who's refereeing his first ever World Championship final, is enjoying every minute of this. Great to see him there. That's what they're playing for, that magnificent World Championship trophy. The lovely little lady on the top there.
Frame 13. Ronnie O'Sullivan to break.
So Ronnie gets this frame started again. And not the best break-off shot. That cue ball coming off the baulk cushion, land on the baulk line. And there's a chance here of a red for Mark. These are the type of reds you feel he's got to start knocking in. Good pot it was, and controlled it nicely to be on a baulk colour. So there you see 7'5" from cue ball to object ball, and nicely found the gap, controlled the cue ball well.
Well, he had the perfect picture there of where he was hitting that cue ball to screw back right down in the bottom.
4.
Look at that, right down at the bottom of that white.
5.
So as Hazel mentioned, there's 5 frames to be played to finish this session off.
Just give me a second, Mark, please.
There's hitting the white right down at 6 o'clock. If you imagine the ball being a clock face, it stops and then it just keeps on spinning.
Thanks. 11. $12.
's the last of the easy reds, so he'll be going into this cluster off the
19.
black. It's the type of cluster you'd like to go in off the blue, but that's not an option here.
$20.
Just about got the angle.
Just wondering if he'll stun it rather than screw it. He plays this shot so well. He's just looks as if he's going to screw it, but he does play it so well. You see, well, the red's in as well.
Foul.
But he
Mark
normally
Selby,
stuns
20.
that type of shot from
Ronnie
that
O'Sullivan,
angle,
7.
and he could have stunned it past the middle of the pack. And you see, the two reds hit it. Well, he did, but if he had played that with a stun, it would have pushed them open better. A bit unlucky to knock that red in.
Say, Dennis, there's 5 more frames, 4 after this one, and very big frames these are for Mark Selby. You think if he wants him to win at least 3 of the 5?
Yeah, that would be Mark's target, but you've got to just play them frame at a time. Got to be careful. If he plays down off this red, the left side of the table, he can send it over towards the other red and maybe knock one over the right corner pocket. So he's changed his mind. He looked at that first of all. This is a much better choice, this one. Yeah, nicely played.
Yeah, and that's the one thing that has slightly improved his safety play. It needed to, because in the first session this afternoon, his safety play, I don't always think this safety success is a fair reflection of some of the safety shots. He was catching a lot too thick, but he's just slightly ahead on those percentages, ahead of Ronnie.
That's opened a few more reds up, and the next shot might even open a few more up, unless the outside red maybe cuts into the right corner. You can have a go at that and play the safety shot.
Well, it's turned out okay in the end, but boy, he just rubbed past that red on the left-hand side of the table there. If he'd have caught it a little bit thicker, the cue ball wouldn't have finished there. We say it's all about fractions. Look at that. Just feathered that red, and that helped it find the gap between yellow and brown. Well, not the best safety. I don't know if this one goes to the far right corner, passes the pink. That's the one you'd want to play if you had a choice, because you wouldn't have to do much to come back for the black. It must be very close to being potable.
I don't think he's taking this on. So he's keeping the discipline. think if Ronnie a couple of seasons ago would maybe have had a go at that, but he's playing all the correct shots. I can't think of too many times where Ronnie's pushed the boat out, as we say. Well, that's certainly opened them up. And he's coming up. Well, if he drops in behind the green, it's a bonus. Not quite. He can get through to this red. If he missed the green there, he would have had him snookered on all the reds. But just keep an eye on the cue ball here. There is a bit of a gap, but he could catch the red that's near the cushion. And he had so much side on that. He played that with so much right-hand side to avoid canning into that red. And that makes the pot so much more difficult.
Well, as Dennis said, just to check it to miss that red, but he's not playing the best positional shot there. Not at the head from Ronnie. I think he may have to play safe here. Well, this red just above the black goes, but he's got to avoid a kiss on the second red. More concerned. Where's the cue ball? Where's the cue ball going? It's okay.
Ronnie O'Sullivan 4.
Well, he'll be so disappointed with his last shot when he cannoned the blue, because he had a great chance. And one little flick off the blue put him right out of position. This was the screw back. He didn't want to be anywhere near the blue. And once he hit it half ball, it's amazing how one little cannon can put you right out of position.
Thin on that, and that's why the cue balls come in and out of balk. And while there's a few reds he could have a go at, not guaranteed position on the colour. Now Ronnie's not been taking too many risks. He just feels that, well, if he just plays a steady game, which is very unusual for him, that should be enough to win frames, because he's getting 2 or 3 chances per frame.
Wasn't expecting a cannon there. He thought he could take the pot on and miss that cannon. Yeah, when you've got a 4-frame advantage, as we show you this attempt at the cut, but maybe if he had a pot of that, he wouldn't have cannoned the other red. But you've got a 4-frame advantage. You just want to share the sessions, the little mini sessions.
One.
He's left himself a very tricky pot here. This needs good cueing. Tough with your hand on the cushion there. Oh, he's played it nicely.
Yes, the problem was with the potting angle, he was going away from the reds, but as you say, Dennis, good pot. Needs another one now.
Nine.
Well, the chances there for Mark. Put everything into this
16.
chance here.
$17. 24. $25.
He didn't get that well, John, did he? He just stunned it a bit too much.
Should have been straight on this pink, shouldn't he? This pink will put him 40 points in front with 67 remaining. So after this pink, a couple of reds, a couple of colours needed. Just able to use that red to hold the cue ball.
31.
Yeah, you need the little extension there, but slight. They had a position there previously, but one more good pot here. He's stretching quite a bit, but should be able to pot this.
32.
Looking good now for this frame.
.46 ahead, 59 remaining. When he pots
37.
the red, there'll only be 51 remaining, so he's looking at the scoreboard. Red, blue, red, pink, red, black would put him in the snooker's required stage. Anything less, and he'll need another red. He's gonna
38.
finish nicely on blue or pink. The blue's unmissable, so he'll probably be the blue. And the blue will put him 52 points in front with 51 remaining.
$43.
It's not there. So one
Mark Selby,
snooker
43.
required for Ronnie as he comes to the table. 52 points behind, 51 remaining.
Yeah, he'll play for the red, the right side of the table, because the one near the back cushions in an ideal place to get a snooker. So this red, a black, and Mark knows only
8.
too well when he comes to the table, he could be snookered behind the black.
$9.
Yeah, that's pretty good. Ronnie just coming around to see where he'd like to leave the cue ball so that he can get that snooker behind the black. And if he sends the red up near one of the balk colours and gets it close to it and gets behind the black, he's right back in this frame.
Yes, of course. In playing this snooker, he'd like to be tight up behind the black and cut
16.
out any one cushion escape. Well, he's got the snooker, and I
Ronnie
think he's
O'Sullivan,
cut out
16.
the one cushion escape. So this frame could be back on.
Well, there's a possible one cushion escape, but that's difficult. I don't think he can swerve around the black. He's too close to that. And this way, he's going to have to be very precise. That's what he's looking for there. No, he's missed it.
Foul.
Frame
Ronnie
on
O'Sullivan,
again.
4.
So now 32 behind, 35 remaining. He knew when he missed that red that would have kept Ronnie in his seat, that he was asking for trouble, because of course he left the red on and Ronnie could get the blacks that he needed, and as you say, Dennis, played the snooker and played the snooker well. And if this runs past the black, we could have a new favourite for the frame.
Thank you.
Well, it has. Ronnie anxiously looking the other side of the table. And because he's so close to the cushion, to get the little bit of side that's needed to come off the cushion, miss the black and hit the red, he might just have to swerve this and hope for the best. I think it's too risky to come off the cushion with side. He could quite easily just flick the black. He's now looking at off the side cushion, but well, this will have to be absolutely spot on.
Foul and a miss.
He's always there.
Ronnie O'Sullivan.
That's why I thought he might just swerve around it. Ronnie's,
Free ball.
it's a free ball as well, so that will give him a free shot if he wants.
Yeah, but Ronnie, having a look at the scoreboard, you see, the thing is he'll need the black, and the black is now safe.
Back.
And that's why he's had it put back. If he didn't need the black, I'm certain he'd have played the green as the free ball.
Yeah, the shot he's attempting, he has to be so precise to miss the black and just flick the red.
Someone look at that mark, please. Yeah. Right, you want to have a look? Thank you. Foul and a miss.
Well, he's done it again.
Ronnie O'Sullivan 7. Yes.
Now Ronnie having to think here, because he won't need the black. 18 points of difference. If he was to get off this last red, blue or pink,
Yeah.
but he thinks, well, this is a difficult snooker to hit. I'm surprised, though, he hit the black so thick second time, Dennis.
Especially someone like Mark, who's so good at getting out of snookers. You see, if he catches the red, he's hoping to just knock the red over onto the side cushion and get the white back up the table, but he's hitting the black more or less half ball, quarter ball.
Yeah, I don't think he's playing it with side. I think it's just a plain ball shot. But
Ronnie, okay?
there's only, well, there's less than half ball of the red sticking out. Compensated that time, and I'll tell you what, he's had a right result here.
Yeah, no luck there. He knew if he caught that red, he would send it over onto the side cushion. Oh, there's a gap here. Oh, it's a tough putt, though, from where the cue ball's sitting.
Yeah, I think you always look at this type of shot. Is it easier to play the safety? Just having a look. If he played half ball on the right-hand side of the red as he's looking, come off the side cushion, bring the cue ball behind the black. The enough's not on if he catches a red half ball. The pot would be very risky. He played it the other way, but well, I think he's left this red.
I think your way was the best way, John, sending the red back up and trying to get over behind the black. So one good pot here and one decent cannon on the green. Where's the green going? Where is that green?
Foul.
Well, would you believe it?
Mark Selby, 4.
Would you believe it? And it's a free ball.
Free ball.
Well, the cannon was always on.
Bramble.
Ronnie never dreamt he could cannon the green into the pocket. I think Johnny was just hoping that he'd be able to push the green towards the pocket and have it there. He never envisaged knocking it in.
Yeah, the green
2.
went in, never touched the side, did it? And I think Ronnie knew as soon as he saw the green going out of the pocket. Yellow ball to leave him needing a snooker. So when it goes,
Okay.
and now Mark nicely on the green, so he had a bit of a scare here. And boy, will he be relieved.
Well, we do have different turning points in a long match. That's certainly going to be one of them, because he would have opened up a 5-frame
11.
advantage.
$16.
So he needed a few bites of the cherry in this frame, but at the end of the day, it'll go on the scoreboard that he won it.
22.
So a frame that could have gone either way, and he thought when Ronnie O'Sullivan got the snookers required that he was going to win it, but the green went in. And Mark Selby now relieved to be only 3 behind at 8-5.
This is OSN Sports 1 HD live. We're down to the chosen few.
That is absolutely magnificent.
The stage is set.
Amazing darting drama. This is marvellous, it really is.
The crowd awaits.
I love it. Why wouldn't you love it? That's what it's all about.
As we take you all the way to the final.
Who would have thought it?
Premier League darts continues. For the full schedule, visit osn.com/sports.
The world's best come together at the TPC Stadium course for the 2014 Players.
Matt Kuchar, the Players champion.
Who will take home the coveted crystal? The PGA Tour on OSN Sports.
It should be classic.
This is OSN Sports 1 HD live.
Thank you. Frame 14. Mark Selby to break.
Yes, he certainly is, Hazel, and he will have all those nice thoughts in his mind of some of the matches that he has battled his way back. But what a good start. Cue ball tight on the cushion. And I suppose at the moment Ronnie's playing at Mark's pace, and not a lot you can do until you get the balls open and play a real telling safety shot. Now Ronnie at 22. seconds there. I've seen him down to 15 in this year's championship, but not when the balls are like this and got tactical play. I mean, Ronnie's as good a tactical player as anybody in the game, but he's up against one of the best in Mark Selby.
Yeah, certainly signs that Mark's beginning to find his long game, but Ronnie can get past the black for the pot here. Just. And great pot it was. What's the kiss like on the blue? Not bad.
Yeah, it was brilliant cueing this, almost tight in the cushion, and to knock that in. I think Ronnie left the auditorium there and went back just to settle himself down, and what a way to start when he came back in. Oh, that was a bit tricky. Played with the left hand. Now he needs to pull another good pot out. He could play to get on the black here.
6.
Just caught the brown, but I'll tell you what, if he pulls this shot off, or will he risk playing for the black? Because there's a red he would leave at the back of the bunch there. But if he could get this in and get the black back on its spot. So let's see what he's decided on. Yeah, great shot. One good pot on the black, JV, and he's given himself a terrific chance.
Yeah, and it was quite interesting what Stephen was saying, you know, that he should play his own game, and that was a real positive shot. He didn't edge his bets there.
$14. 15.
He's got the red that's closest to the black, but I think there's one at the back and to the left of the bunch is also available. Be available possibly into the right corner. He'll have a look at that. That's what he's looking at now there, Ronnie.
22. $23.
That's the one he's played for. But they're not a good bunch to go into from the black.
30.
And that's why he's played
31.
for the pink. Better pack to go into from that. And if he's got the correct angle, he can play this with a lot of topspin. All depends on the angle. He doesn't want to go between that, well, that little gap between the reds. And he has gone through that gap. I'm surprised he never looked at that.
$37.
What a recovery pot that is.
38.
And he's on the yellow. And he can get back to the reds. I mean, this was just a fabulous pot.
Yes, for one of the few times this evening, he's decided to make things happen.
40.
I think after the first session, he could see that Mark hadn't settled, and he was just sort of content to be patient and pick up the pieces. But
41.
probably, as you say, went out in between frames and just had a word with himself, said, come on now, let's start playing here.
$48.
Just
49.
about got the angle on the blue. you see it? Nicely on it. I think there's a red that's available to the left corner.
$54. $55.
He's picked these off very nicely indeed. He hasn't taken any risks with cannoning into them at the wrong time. Even there, didn't bother cannoning into the reds and risking it.
Yes, and the reason being because this red and the black will put him 68 points in front with just 67 remaining.
61.
Yeah, all done in a matter of, well, under 7 minutes this frame's been going. And now a chance to go on and make a century break here.
$69.
Ronnie has made 11 centuries in this year's World Championship. I think the record is held by the man sitting in the studio with 15 centuries.
76.
He holds a lot of records, the Stephen Hendry.
77.
And he's perfect now. Ronnie's made 746 centuries. He's closing in on Stephen Hendry's record.
82.
I think it's 775.
83. $90.
I think more importantly, this
91.
frame for Ronnie. The people come to see Ronnie play like this, and he's turned it on in this frame.
And this, if he gets a century, he's going to beat last year's
98.
55 centuries.
99.
And a few people would have had a bet on that, and they'll be getting paid out. They certainly will, because that's a magnificent century break
104.
from Ronnie O'Sullivan.
106.
And he's done exactly what Stephen Hendry suggested. Get out there, just play your own game. And
109.
this is Ronnie's game.
$113. $118.
It's been flawless, this break.
$124.
Well, he enjoyed every minute of that, did Ronnie O'Sullivan, and so did the Crucible crowd. What a fabulous break of 131, and he gets back to 4 frames in front. It's now 9-5.
Changes approach.
Ronnie O'Sullivan to break.
So Ronnie breaks off. Still 4 more frames to play this evening. That certainly warmed up the audience, that last frame. Now, sorry, there's only 3 more to play. Getting ahead of myself, but he stepped up. Now Mark Selby's got to do the same.
Mark Selby really could do with one of these remaining 2 frames. He'd love to get them both, but there's 3 frames to be played. If he can get 2 of the 3, he'd be more than pleased. He's just going to run a bit too far.
Well, I thought it had stopped once and it just kept rolling. It looked certain to stop short of the baulk line, and it just ran on and on. And you know after the last frame that Ronnie wants to start making things happen, but if he takes the blue on, it's going to be risky as we watch that. Looked as though it was certain to stop short of the baulk line. Just kept rolling. Oh, great pots!
Six.
Isn't it great, Dennis, to have that ability? You can just change the flow of a match.
7.
Yeah, he's just moved up a couple of gears, hasn't he? Not quite as he intended.
13.
Quite a thin cut this, and he's heading away up towards the baulk colours.
Well, he's got a nice angle on the green should he so wish to come off the side cushion and into that cluster. The pink's probably only available into one pocket. Black tied up, it may be worth the risk. Now decided to play for the loose reds. Cue ball needs to slow up a touch. He's
70.
overrun it a fraction.
Yeah, you can't cannon into the bunch of reds because of the red that's just above the pink spot. Well, he tried to get on that red I mentioned, but he was
23.
always going to have the other one here into the left corner. Just ran on a fraction more than he intended there. Well, that's a bonus if the black will go. It doesn't look like it would pot from this angle. And it wouldn't.
24.
The red at the top of the cluster will go past the pink into the right corner. And the way he's played that will obviously go into the left corner and played it beautifully.
29.
Now he's got that red away and he's got the angle on the blue. He's still got one more red he can play for. So he'll play for it this time.
35.
Can he get back onto the blue? That's the question now. Now that's going to be difficult from there. If he screws back, he could go into the middle pocket. And he's back looking at that black. It must be very, very tight.
Yeah, and just looking at his facial expression, a little bit annoyed with himself. And I like you thought off the last blue he'd have gone into the reds. You leave it till the last minute and you get the wrong angle. So watch the middle pocket. Just managed
36.
to avoid it. And he's landed nicely on the blue to play that cannon.
I don't see any plants if he goes into these reds. It might be one if he cannons the left of the reds. He's going to make a little plant. There's certainly one red will head over towards the left corner pocket. Just depends on the pace. Yeah, he just went gently into it.
41.
Oh, he's got them all open now.
42.
Well, Mark, you can't do anything about this. I mean, he couldn't have played that any better.
48.
Well, it was at full stretch there, but it's inch perfect. Although a little shake of the head, maybe just not the angle he wanted, but you wouldn't have thought it would cause him a problem. Yeah, he's got the angle to stun down for the red near the top cushion. And he was bound to leave a good angle. So 55 ahead, 75 remaining. 2
55.
reds, 2 colours. And that would be the frame safe.
$56.
Well, he really is turning it on now, is Ronnie O'Sullivan. It has to be said.
62. 63.
Wouldn't matter who he's playing. Up to 1,000 points in the final.
$69.
And now a possible chance to make back-to-back centuries.
Still trying to convince himself he can pot that black.
76.
Well, this time, and the referee
77.
dashing round to make certain he hits the black first. Can he bend it in with a bit of right-hand side? He could, you know.
84. 85.
We had a couple of frames that lasted just over 24 minutes, but the last 2 frames have just been awesome.
Just overstun that. He'll be a little bit
87.
annoyed with himself. Like the way he's playing at the moment, you fancy him knocking anything in. Oh, well, maybe not at that pace. It wasn't 100, but he kept Mark Selby in his seat, and Ronnie is going out of the arena. But boy, will he be going out feeling very good, because he's stretched his lead now. He leads 10 frames to 5.
Thank you. Frame 16. Mark Selby to break.
definitely do with the two remaining frames. But will he get the chance? The way Ronnie's played in the last couple of frames, he knows that if he makes one mistake, he'll be sitting down and watching Ronnie carry on. Well, we'll see how he plays this safety shot. He's got a chance to open the reds, get back down the table, or he can play the one next to the black. Let's see if he's going to open them up somewhat here. But catching the green, well, Ronnie's coming around. I don't think the black will go, and I don't think the pink will go. And this red looks a bit straight to me into the corner. If he's got a slight angle, he can try and get up for the blue, but there's only just a slight angle. And when he's cueing, well, there you see, not even considering that one.
Like Mark before him, catching a baulk colour. It's a dangerous thing to do at this level.
Well, look at the angle he has on this. It's not unnatural to roll this in and finish on the black and play it as a sort of shot to nothing. Look at that, since his last pot. It's coming up to 22 minutes and 30 seconds. You could do with getting in behind the yellow and the brown here. If he misses the green, he might get there.
Missed his chance there, Mark. And only have a look at possibility of a three-ball plant here. Ooh, I'll tell you what, it's not far away. It is not far away, and it's the path back to baulk. In the end, he didn't see it as being a good path back to baulk and a risky plant. And he's found that area behind yellow and brown as played.
Just over 5 hours. So it's been a tough couple of days for Mark Selby. His semi-final, that fascinating semi-final against the world number 1, Neil Robertson, was just over 12 hours. So it does take it out of you mentally. So he's got to just hang in there and see what he can get out of these last 2 frames. Yeah, believe it or not, he's been playing 13 hours longer than Ronnie O'Sullivan, believe it or not, because of the way the matches have gone. So that does take it out of you. Ronnie once again looking for the path to get in behind the yellow and brown, but twice across the table, the red slightly in the way. He's just debating whether to risk going twice across, miss that red, or just take it up towards the green. I think it's worth the thin one. I think he can miss that red. Well, he's gone the one cushion, and that could be in the pocket. No, he's okay.
Yeah, it's not exactly as planned, but this red that is cuttable to the right middle, the one in the other half of the table, it's not a red you'd want to take on, really. It's a tough pot, and you're not certain to get it safe, so I think he's driving this red into the blue and screwing back to the baulk cushion. Well, he drove it into the reds. And he's played it well. Played it very well. Throws a danger if we just catch it wrong, that a red could come up to the baulk end, but good thinking, well played. It's in a spot of bother, but he's reversed the roles, and it's Ronnie now with something to think of.
That was a brave shot he took on there. He nearly pulled it off, but he's had a bit of a result. The red could have finished anywhere when he missed it. We'll just show it to you again here. He wasn't far away, but once it came across there, he got a decent little kiss to leave it safe. This is how they finished when Ronnie attempted this pot. You can see the red wobbled, came across. Oh, we could quite easily have pushed one on there.
Just a bit pacey, and hand on the table. There's definitely an opportunity here for Mark if he can pot this red, come round off two cushions, and he'd be on the black to the opposite corner. Okay, if he missed it, he may leave a red on to the left middle, but Ronnie started to make things happen. You just feel that Mark's got to do the same now. Right, played it with pace, so he edged his bet. It's a great pot, but is he on a colour? Well, unless he's got a good angle on the brown, it's only a snooker to play. Could come off the baulk cushion, snooker behind the green. The one thing he wants to try and do is cut out the simple one cushion escape. So he feels by nestling up to the brown, the yellow will take care of that.
There is a way. He's got to hit, let's see, 1, 2, 3 cushions to land on the red. That's to the left of the two on the cushion. Just keep your eye on this cue ball. This will be some escape. The angle's there. There's 1 cushion, 2 cushion. Here comes the 3rd cushion. What's the line like? What's the line like? Is it going to reach?
Foul. Miss.
Wow, even Ronnie smiles. Can he remember the line? That's the thing.
Yep.
Well, can he remember where he hit? Because he had it absolutely spot on.
Yes, he played it absolutely perfectly, the line. And what was it? A millimetre short of pace.
Okay, Mark, thank you.
Well, I don't know if I can get as good a line as Ronnie, but it was somewhere near there, I think. Is it going to reach? He's going to come up short again. And he might have left a pot this time.
Mark Selby 4.
He just might have left this one on. And Mark, well, as Stephen Hendry was saying, and as you said, John, he's got to make something happen. This might just be the chance.
One. Eight. Nine.
Well, the Reds are nicely spread now.
16.
So it's just a case of producing your best snooker. This is an opportunity you just feel he cannot turn down. And it's gone wrong almost immediately. He
70.
got a kiss on the second red he wasn't expecting. And that's been his problem, Dennis, throughout this match.
It was the shot when he screwed into the bunch to leave the white there. He was a bit unlucky to leave it at that angle. Normally he would have finished straight and been able to stay on the black, and he thought there was a way past there, and he just misjudged that, and he's totally out of position now.
Green ball.
Just
Mark
watch the
Selby,
split
70.
here when he potted the black. Just got a bit too much screw, and that white just come back, what, 2 or 3 inches further than he intended. And he thought there was a gap there, and he just cannoned straight into the red.
Yeah, but he'll know that he should have known he was going to kiss the second red. But he's not scoring, and he's not winning frames in one visit. 55 break is his highest after 15 frames, and a 55 break doesn't necessarily win you any frame. Well, Ronnie's having a look at this red. I don't know whether he's got the angle to play the pot and get round the back of the black. Wow, he's gone for it full-blooded. And just have a look where the cue ball was finished. If that red doesn't go in and that red he played went safe, he wouldn't have left anything.
Well, for me, that was the shot of the final so far. It really was, to roll it in like that and get round the back of the black. It just doesn't get any better than that. That's interesting stat. 62% for Mark Selby and only 56% for Ronnie O'Sullivan. But I'll tell you one, that was one of the best, that last long pot.
Yeah, he studied all the options and he thought the best way to play this is just go for it full-blooded. If I pot it, I'm on the black and it gives me a frame-winning chance. And you can't argue with that.
Nine.
Well, even that was well judged because he wasn't straight on that. He had to use the red and he played it perfectly. One of the little fibers probably just from the tip, just in his eye line when he gets down to strike.
Well, it just put him off enough. It just put him off enough to lose his concentration. Didn't expect that.
gift this is. But as I say, he did seem to just lose a little focus when he was just messing around with the tip. Mark Selby, you've got to take full advantage as Ronnie still looks at the tip there. He's had a couple of tips on this year, which is most unusual.
8.
Very few players would change the tip during a World Championship unless it was damaged.
9.
Yes, and it's Les Dodd from Southport who comes down and puts Ronnie's tips on.
Thanks.
I think he's just about okay. He can just about get past these two
16.
reds. He'd like to have been straight on this red and play for the black. But I think the blue is just about available. But what a lifeline he's been handed here.
17.
And he's got to take it.
Brendan Moore just checking to see if the blue will spot. It won't. So
22.
let's see, there's 3 easy reds available. I'm not too sure about the 2 to the right of the pink and blue, but he's already 39 in front.
$23.
So 44 ahead, 67 remaining.
27.
2 reds, 2 colours would be more than enough.
28.
It's bounced nicely enough now. You may have to play a little cannon here. Pot the black, cannon the blue, thumb in the face. And that will be frame over.
35.
He's looking at the other red into the middle pocket now because this one looks a bit tight and he's going to have to bridge slightly over the blue. That's if the other one doesn't go, the one to the right as he's looking at it. And that would look very tight. That one there would be the better one, but that's a bit tight. He could maybe catch the other red if he plays that. And the other one is going to need the spider. So the cannon on the blue didn't quite work out. He's back looking at the one to the middle pocket.
Yes, and this is missable. But only the red needed. And it's there. So an unexpected miss black off the spot from Ronnie O'Sullivan. Gave Mark a lifeline, and he's taken it. He can dig deep, this young man. And he's having to dig deep in this first day's play because he's not
43.
been at his best. And that will mean that Ronnie
44.
will not be getting back to the table.
I'll tell you what, John, if he could win this last frame and come out of this 10-7 with a highest break of 55, he's in with a great shot tomorrow, you'd have to say.
Well, absolutely.
52.
I think Ronnie just switched off a little bit. And I'm not saying he thought it was getting a bit too easy, but he wasn't having to do a lot to win frames. He's turned it on the last few frames, but you miss a black
58.
off the spot. It's going to cost you. Doesn't matter about this red. So he was handed a lifeline. Ronnie missed a black off the spot unexpectedly. Mark Selby took it. He's reduced his arrears now to 4. And with one big frame coming up, O'Sullivan leads 10-6.
Close the curtain. Thank you. The final frame of this session. Ronnie O'Sullivan to break.
Well, both players were out of the arena for a few minutes there to compose themselves for this final frame of this session. And Ronnie O'Sullivan breaks off with that 50p tip on the cue that Steve Davis said, and it's a pretty good break off. This is the shot they were talking about. He suddenly seen the little fibre there, probably just in his eye line, and just took his concentration away.
Superbly played. What a terrific shot that was. And a little tap on the table from Ronnie in appreciation. It's a big frame, and that was, he was in a spot of bother there.
He's hit that so thick, but I think he's okay. And that's what he thinks of that shot. For one moment there, I thought he cleared the black because the black was tied up and the two reds have gone either side of it, so it's a bit awkward again. This was the shot here, and just watch it. Clears the black, knocks that red away, but then all of a sudden, a series of little kisses left it awkward again.
Thank you.
Well, I'll be very disappointed with that, Will Mark, and you can see the look on his face. I mean, when you're that close to the reds, at this level, and you don't find the ball cushion, you know you're just making it that much.
Can you ask him to leave, please?
You're just making it that much
Totally
easier
unnecessary.
for your opponent to play a better safety.
Crowd here at the Crucible are fantastic, but just occasionally you get one person shouting out. Probably they've never been to the Crucible before. I mean, you want the enthusiasm and you want the crowd to get involved, which they do, but it's all about timing. It's such an intimate theatre here. It really is a bit special. We met quite a few people at lunch and tea time that were here Crucible for the very first time, and I bet they're enjoying every minute of this.
Meanwhile, Mark Selby's trying to see if he can get a safety shot here. He was brought on by him not playing a good safety shot when he should have done when he was close to the reds. So couldn't find a path back to ball, just rolling into him. And he had a good look at everything, so I assume left nothing.
Yeah, we need a touching ball here now to resolve this.
Well, they both looked at one another, and I think Ronnie's quite happy for a re-rack. Both players agree. No reason why not.
There's the crowd again, and this is the second re-rack we've had this evening, but I bet they're enjoying every single minute of this. Not that easy to get tickets to come to the Crucible Theatre. It's nice to get away from the wall, and that's what's for the winner, that beautiful trophy there.
Thank you. The final frame of this session. Ronnie O'Sullivan to break.
So Ronnie gets ready to break off in this final frame. for the second time. And I've noticed every time, or most of the time, Ronnie breaks off, that red seems to come right next to the black and puts it out of commission. Must just be the red that he's hitting. He's not intending to do that, but it's amazing the number of times it happens. See, he's hitting the end red with lots of side, and that one springs out and lands next to the black.
Yeah, decent length with the cue ball. And the black now has gone up the side cushion, so it's going to make this frame turn on the face of it a little bit awkward.
Well, this would be a risky red. I'm just looking at whether he can get around the back of the two reds near the black spot. Oh, he's having to punch this in. This is a big shot to be taking on. Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant.
One.
He's got a prolonged round of applause for that superb opening pot. Because he had the butt of the cue raised slightly in the air and he had to punch it in. And I'll tell you what,
Four.
That was so accurate.
Five.
John mentioned
10.
about that black being out of the game. So Mark having to work really hard for these points here.
11.
Just have a look at this. Watch the white leave the bed. 1, 2. Well, it's just bouncing all the way down, and he's caught it absolutely spot on. I'm not sure if the pink's available into the left corner. A couple of shots time. I'll tell you what, it's available now, but he's not on a red. That was a bit unlucky. He played that with so much topspin and right-hand side.
16.
He's a bit unfortunate to stick in there.
Yeah, that's the problem though, isn't it? When you come off a cushion like that, and particularly as he was having to stun it across the force, that he wasn't a lot of pace left in the cue ball, and it met that wall of reds. So just a safety.
Mark Selby, 16.
I'm sure Mark Selby, no matter what he's gone through today, realises the importance of this frame. This is massive in his cause.
His first shot, he was going to try and get round the back of the two reds, but he's changed his mind and there's a few obstacles in the way here. He's picked it out nicely. I'm just wondering if he can take a pot on to the right corner. There might be a gap between the reds. He'd maybe have a look at it. That's what he's looking at now. Yeah, it's a very risky one. He's looked at that one there, possibly potting, and that's the angle to get through the gap, but that's very risky at this stage.
Yeah, I think he'd also be aware that he may kiss the red on the left-hand side of the table.
I think he's got a little thin safety there, you can see. Nicely played.
Yeah, decent length.
A little bit pacey again. Is he going to drop in tight behind the green? Oh, that's a bit of a result for Ronnie there. You're playing to get the white tight on the ball cushion, and if you happen to come up behind the colour, well, that's a bonus. And there's no red near a cushion to try and lay on. You're going to have to try and get to the two that's near the black spot, possibly just to come in behind those, but he's going for the old two cushion escape and back down the table. Brilliant. That is such a difficult shot. Oh. Is there a gap to take the pot on? There's always a gap, as JV says.
And look at the amount of right-hand side he put on that. That was a sensational pot. Just watch the side when it comes off the top cushion. But it was so much right-hand side. That was a tremendous
Ronnie
shot.
O'Sullivan won.
Turned down the pot on the yellow. There may have been a chance of potting it, but you see the way the reds are at the moment. There's nothing that easy to get on. So Ronnie thought, well, maybe the snooker could leave him in amongst the balls. And he's not certain to get this safe, Mark. There's no two-cushion escape with pace on here.
Well, this will be some escape. If he can land on those two reds behind the black spot. Have a look at this line. Have a look at this line. Would you look at this escape? Is he going to reach? Oh.
Foul, a miss. Ronnie O'Sullivan 4.
Same shot. A little bit more pace, but he's got to get the same line.
Yeah, the only thing is, if he's got a little bit too much pace, he might knock that red out of the way and leave the other one to the right corner. It's fraught with danger, but as you say, just a fraction out.
Hasn't got the right line this time.
Foul, and a miss.
Is there a red?
Ronnie O'Sullivan
to
4.
the right middle pocket. There is. That's the one he's looking at.
Well, can he get enough of it? Is it too risky, or does he feel as he can drop it in, kiss the other red and be on the pink? If it's not simple, he'd have it put back. I know he wants to get in, he wants to get his hand on the table, but he's reasoned it out, and I think that's the correct decision from his point of view.
Okay, Ronnie. Thank you.
Third time lucky. He's got more pace on it this time. This looks brilliant. But is he going to push that red on, as JV said? Not quite.
Excellent escape. Really well played. It was fraught with danger, and he knew that. That's all he could hope for. Get out of the snooker and leave it safe. But Ronnie keeping the heat on, and if Mark can't get past this pink to play safe down the left-hand side of the table, which is dangerous anyway with the black near the left-hand cushion, he's got a problem here.
Well, he's having a long, hard look at it. I mean, there's very little of that red sticking out. He's coming around to look from the other side. I don't think you can see that red, pink just blocking. Well, there's a very, very slight bit sticking out there. And with being tight on the cushion, you wouldn't fancy it.
Yeah, I mean, on the face of it, it looked, and we'll look from where Mark is, I mean, it's such a fine edge of the red, you wouldn't want it. But you think if you come off the top cushion and just nestle into those reds, now that looks easy enough. But if you just don't judge the pace right, and you hit it a little bit too hard, you can leave a red on. So you need a steely nerve to play this. I think that's what he's thinking of, coming off the top cushion, just nestling into the reds, but he's just looking to see if the top red of those two would be available into the right corner. He's going to nestle on the two of them. Side cushion, top cushion. Difficult way to go, this, for me.
This is a terrific shot. Absolute beauty.
Well, I'll have to rename him Houdini after those two escapes. Wonderful touch.
Not as much pace as he wanted there. Still okay. He had a few very quick frames. This one's been going now for be coming up to just under 14 minutes, as you can see. This very important final frame of this session. Oh, tell you what, Ronnie mishit that altogether. And he got through a gap there that when he hit it too thin, he thought he was going to career into the reds. Just have a look at this. Oh, Mark Selby, that's what he knew he'd mishit that one, but well, this is a key shot coming up. You can expect this in this last frame because it's so important, certainly from Mark's point of view.
Played the plant and was just able to get the cue ball back to the balk end. The second red went to the left-hand side, so he caught the first red a little bit fuller than he intended, but the yellow has stopped the easy return back to balk. That would have been the red on the left-hand side of the table. He's got to catch this right. Doesn't want to be hitting the blue. Red went towards the right corner, but it's gone to the cushion. That won't tempt Ronnie. The only thing is with this red that's just to the right of the black, which looks the obvious red to play safe off, there is a chance, you've got to be careful, that the red, if it hits the cushion, might bring the black in back into the middle of the table, and you could get the double kiss. Managed to avoid the black. He's not got a very good pace with the cue ball. There's the red over the corner. Is he going to run that cue ball? It has. It has. And I just had a quick glance over to Mark before he got out of his seat. And he just sort of had the feeling that cue ball was going to run on and he wasn't going to be able to get to this red over the corner. It's such a frustrating game sometimes.
Yeah, you might have to give this a little bit of thought. He was looking away. He said, I think it may have covered it. And he had a funny feeling as he came to the table. It had. He can get past the pink to get back down the table off the red that's just to the left of the black spot. But how does he hide? If he hides the cue ball over where the tip of the cue is, he'd have to be more or less tight on the cushion and near the pocket. So he may just play it to... He's going to try and pot this, but he's going to screw back, or is he just going to roll up to it? Now, has he got the white where he wanted? It's a pretty good effort. He still can pot this, Ronnie.
Well, to be fair to Mark, he's left it as difficult as he could. This is no gimme.
Watch the cue ball. It'll be heading towards the red to the right of the black. And now the chance is there. I mean, that wasn't an easy pot that Ronnie took on, but what a shot Mark Selby played to get that white in that position. It really was a bit special. He took the calculated risk, and it worked. Ronnie missed that difficult cut. This was the shot where he tried to get the white down in that corner. And if he does get out of this, just 3 behind at 10-7.
7.
It's going to make it very interesting tomorrow.
Eight.
Not certain where the black will go when it's respotted, but you won't be bothered about that. You've still got definitely pink and blue to play on. You'd like it to go on the brown spot, in all honesty, because then it doesn't tie up the reds, and it would be there if he had to go to the balk end. So that's not a problem for
15.
Mark.
$60. $21. $22.
Mark made 4 century breaks in his semi-final against Neil Robertson. unbelievable win for him, but his highest break is still 58. And as I say, if he gets out of it 10-7, he'll be more than pleased, you'd have to say. And he could come out fresh tomorrow, and it would be final on. He was 84% earlier. He's now up to 88% with his pot success rate. Wasn't straightforward to get nicely on a red, but should be okay. The one to the left goes, and it clears
28.
the path for the one that's just to the right of it. As you can see there, this one clears the path for the other.
29.
A little bit too pacey. You'd rather have been a little bit straighter on the blue. Then you've got more control of the cue ball. The angle he's got. You'd think he'd play the blue because I can't see. Well, if he played the black, he'd probably cannon into the yellow. The green's too straight. So the blue, and he'll have to just judge this nicely. No straightforward cannon to the two reds near the black spot because the pink's slightly in the way. All depends on what sort of potting angle he's got on either red to either corner pocket. He can play for the pink in the middle, so he doesn't have to play the pot with too much pace.
$35.
Not perfect on the pink, but this will be some positional shot. Look where he's hitting the cue ball. That's, has he got enough? A little flick would help here, and I think he got the flick.
41.
I think he's on the red. Ronnie, well, as Mark looks on, it must be very, very tight.
Yes, 48-point lead, and he can just get through to this red. We can clearly see that. Needs a colour and
42.
one more red.
And it'll have to be the pink because he's too straight on the blue. Well, as John said, just the one more
48.
red needed. He left Ronnie a tempter when he screwed back into that bottom corner of the table, and Ronnie's cut into the pocket just hit it a little bit thick, and this is the result.
$56.
So I think he'll sleep fairly comfortably tonight, Mark Selby.
And his breaks are getting higher. It's 58. This is now his highest break of the match. So just signs, Dennis,
62.
that he's finding a bit better form.
Doesn't matter about that. Ronnie come forward to shake his hand. Mark Selby will be absolutely delighted. It looked as if Ronnie was going to walk away with the match, but he certainly hasn't. Mark Selby's right back in there, but he trails by 3 frames. It's 10-7 to Ronnie.